Okay, recording. All right, welcome back to the Contrarians. We have another special episode. You might have seen a couple of episodes premiere on YouTube in this same style, where we get to go one-on-one with one of the folks that contributes to our panels quite often, and we get to explore them a little bit and see what they're all about and what their interests are. So you get to meet our panelists, and most of them have their own cool channels with their own cool content. And today's no different. We have Ryan from Ryan's Vinyl Destination here, and Ryan's joining me, and this will just be a fun little one-on-one interview. So welcome, Ryan. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Marco. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so I've got a few questions for you. Some of them are pretty fun, but we'll just start off with some basic, easy ones. So obviously you're a fan of music and you love music. What made you decide to get into talking about music on your channel? Like, what made you decide to create the channel?
Hmm. Well, I was doing it a long time before I had a channel. I've been blogging probably since I was like about 14 or 15. I've had various different blogs over the years, with some breaks too. Like I haven't really done anything with that probably in about 4 years now, but yeah, I had a website that I did all about the band UFO. I was probably like 14 years old and I just got into them. I'm like, I guess I'll make a blog about them. And had a couple about movies as well, and then others that were just album reviews and stuff. But when I did started a channel, I guess like I just wanted to have some more good conversations about music and stuff. Like I work in a record store, so I have those conversations from time to time, but a lot of the time it is really just ringing out and stuff. So it's just like it'd be cool to have the opportunity to share my love of music with people publicly, and then also maybe meet some people along the way that want to talk about music as well.
Okay, and you talk about writing on a blog. Do you still do writing?
Um, I mean, I do still on the Facebook page for my channel, Ryan's Vinyl Destination. I will put a review on there from time to time of albums. I have in recent times I have been writing some reviews for Sea of Tranquility, um, and I just from there. I mean, I always have an interest in writing. I don't really have direct blogs anymore like I used to, but it's always something I'm still very interested in.
Nice. Do you write anything besides music?
Well, yeah, I mean, besides music reviews and like movie reviews, I have experimented with like writing screenplays and stuff. Like my major in college was digital media production, so I've messed around with that a little bit. Write some poetry once in a while. I write songs. I write, you know, I guess like little articles here and there. But just, you know, nothing real set in stone, but it is something that I like to explore a lot of different territories with.
Awesome. And what kind of content can we find on your channel?
On my channel right now, I have some movie reviews on there, ranging from really classic movies that I love to the bottom of the barrel movies that literally have 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I do stuff like that, talk about some TV shows like Twin Peaks. I have obviously music content, whether it's doing like best of compilations where we each pick like 5 songs by an artist that we think are essential. I have albums or artist series where we've looked at like a artist's entire studio catalog and sometimes live stuff as well, review the albums and stuff. Honestly, just a wide array of content. I do concert reviews. Um, yeah, just a ton of different stuff, honestly.
Awesome. How often are you going to concerts?
It just depends. I've been going recently, I'd say, to around one a month. There's been some months where I've seen more. somewhere I've seen less, but yeah, for them, I would say on average, probably about one a month.
Cool. And since like we're the contrarians, what's something that you're very contrarian on?
Hmm. Let's see. Um, I think one thing that I learned I'm very contrarian on doing an Aerosmith series was that I actually like the latter half of their catalog quite a bit, where a lot of people are not too big on that stuff. Wasn't expecting to feel that way, but like I'd say I enjoyed more of those albums than I didn't enjoy.
Nice. You're a record collector too. Do
Yes.
you have a holy grail and do you own it?
Hmm. Um, let's see here. I definitely have picked up quite a few grails in the past. I'd say that the holy of holy grails for me would probably be um I would say at this point in my life, because it's always changing, but I would say to get an original copy of Number One Record by Big Star. And I do not own it. I only have those albums on CD. Um, but of albums I have that were grails, I'd say one that I definitely am pretty proud of is my original uncensored cover copy of the first Velvet Underground album. So yeah, those would be a couple for sure. And I have tons of others I'd love to get to, but some of them are gonna be real hard.
Cool. And what are your favorite genres of music to talk about?
Hmm. Um, so I mean, I would say that like classic rock and hard rock is the easiest for me to talk about. I wouldn't say it's the genre I enjoy the most at this point in my life because I like so much different music. I mean, I love jazz, I love punk music, I love like dream pop and alternative music. I love, funk. I love all kinds of stuff, progressive rock, etc., some metal as well. But I'd say that the easiest for me to talk about is typically classic rock and hard rock because it has been in my life the whole time. So at this point, it's just like I could just kind of pull it out of my head real easily. Um, but I am trying to challenge myself to talk about more different genres of music and also really explore more modern music as well because there's so much good out there that I just that's something I'd like to start reviewing more in the future as well.
Yeah, and you talked about reviewing live concerts. So like how would you review a live concert? What are you looking for when you go to a live concert? What would make a great live concert experience for you?
Honestly, like I call them concert reviews, but it's like how did this show make me feel? Like I went to see um for instance, I went to go see John Anderson from Yes. He played with this group of 10 to 18-year-olds. They were called the Paul Green Rock Academy. And they played a bunch of classic Yes songs, including the entire Close to the Edge album. And when I was there, it was just like, this is just so emotional. Like these kids are amazing at the instruments. They're probably playing it better than Yes did, honestly, which is crazy to think, but like they nailed it. Um, and John just had a voice like it was still the 70s. Like he was hitting the notes and everything perfectly. And it was just the overall intimacy of the venue, being right there, probably like, I don't know, 30 feet away from John and the band as they're performing. Just being able to hear one of my favorite albums of all time played in its entirety. So, like, an experience like that's going to be a really positive review. Whereas, like, if I don't really have much to say about the concert, I'm not going to give quite as much of a review. I'll say I had fun or I didn't have fun. But if I leave without like a significant memory, then that's really gonna affect things. Because like I know I saw pretty recently Michael Schenker with a couple other bands, and the Michael Schenker aspect of it was very memorable. It was honestly so much fun. I mean, I talked about how much I love UFO, but the other bands were good. But when it came to actually talking about them, I'm like, I don't really have that much to say, to be completely honest. So I guess it's just my emotions, what I took away from the show more than actually reviewing. I mean, luckily, in the time that I've been doing these concert reviews, I haven't been to a show that was like god awful. Um, but if it was, and like the vocals sounded terrible, the sound was terrible, they were lip syncing, obviously, etc., I would talk about that. I would say why that kind of sucks, especially when concert tickets are so expensive
Hmm.
to get a bad show, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're a musician as well, right?
Mhm.
Like you play guitar. So
I
you get a phone call and it's a famous band and they say, Ryan, we need you to fill in today for the show that we're playing. Who's the band that's calling you?
mm, wow. Um, well, man, that's a loaded question, honestly, because I do play so many different instruments. So it's like, we'll just go with guitar. I'd say if you were gonna want me to go into a band and fill in, and I guess maybe like Pink Floyd or something, because David Gilmour definitely, as at the time I was learning the guitar, I kind of breathe, breathed and slept his playing and his solos and played those over and over again. Got to know them so well. So I feel like that would be a potential one, and I can also sing Pink Floyd stuff pretty well, so it had that versatility there. Um, and I like playing their stuff on the bass too. So yeah, Pink Floyd. We'll go with
Nice.
Pink.
Good
Yep.
pick. We know
Thanks.
you love music and movies. What's something we don't know about you?
Hmm. Something you don't know about me. Um. Hmm. I love hiking. I love the outdoors. I love all things about nature. Not really at this time of the year as much entirely, but I will still go out woods walks and stuff like that. Love taking pictures in nature as well when I see a scenery I really like and things like that. Love being out there with friends, etc. That, yeah.
Cool. I have some quick questions for you. So I'm going to
Okay.
give you an either or, and then you answer one or the other.
All
And you can
right.
explain why if you like.
Sure.
Okay. Yes or Genesis?
Hmm. Genesis,
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
0% on Rotten Tomatoes or 100% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Zero. Zero all day.
um, Rat or Motley Crue?
Rat.
Are you a fan of hair metal and like 80s metal?
I pick and choose. I don't discriminate a whole genre, but I also wouldn't say it's one of my particular favorites. Growing up, I was all about hair metal. That was literally like 90% of what I listened to. And over time, I would say I like it less than I do, but like I'll still put on like Motley Crue's debut, um, couple of those Rat albums, actually quite a few of Rat's albums because they're pretty good. You know, a couple of more obscure ones like Keel or Cinderella or um, stuff like that. Yeah, I'd say I like it, but it's not a genre that I go to very much anymore, but I still, when I listen to it, have some nostalgia, or there are albums that I really enjoy. Like, I think that Motley Crue's debut is probably one of the best debuts of all time, and really the only album I completely love by them. But yeah,
Nice. Drum solo or bass solo?
bass.
Outdoor festival or intimate club setting?
Intimate club.
Nice. Um, VHS or Betamax? Do you collect like old like video formats, like obscure
I
ones?
I used to kind of. I used to have like a lot of VCRs and stuff. I thought about dabbling into like laser discs a little bit. Not really anymore. I'm really a Blu-ray and DVD kind of guy at this point. But I would have to go with VHS. I actually collected a lot of vintage video game stuff at one point in time.
Nice.
Yeah, like a ton of old consoles, along with vintage music stuff I have because I collect vinyl and CDs and cassettes. So
Do you
yeah.
still have everything you've collected, or have you had to sell anything over the years?
Eh, I'm like I don't have any of the vintage video game stuff anymore. Like honestly, like I don't know if I want to call myself a collector entirely, especially at this point in my life. There's been points in my life where I was more of a collector, but I think that with the video game thing, I wanted to experience those consoles. I wanted to play the games. I wanted to know what the deal was with them. But
Hmm.
aside from a few of them, I didn't really have a problem selling them after a while. I did really enjoy like the Sega Genesis, and I enjoyed the Dreamcast, and I enjoyed the NES, N64, and GameCube. But like I don't own any of them still, space wise, and also just like level of interest. I don't really like to have things like that around if I'm not going to actually use them anymore, because it's
Hmm.
just takes up too much space. But I do have quite a bit of music stuff like cassettes and CDs, etc. Kind of
Yeah.
been downsizing a little bit because of a move, but keeping everything I really like still.
Have you regretted anything that you've lost over the years? Lost or sold or
There
brought
was
away?
there was a point of time where I didn't realize how much some records would mean to me. I've been able to get a decent amount of them back at this point, but I definitely got rid of some stuff, and I definitely passed up on some things at points of time where records cost a lot less money than they do now. Where I'm like, man, I wish I would have made that decision.
Hmm. Okay, so after your video game experience, is it Sega or Nintendo for you?
I would say that I want to be the hipster that says Sega because I like the aesthetic of Sega more, but I think in terms of the actual games, Nintendo is probably better. I mean, the big characters, let alone other projects they've done over time. I did really like Sega though, and there's a lot of fun aspects to it, but I mean, Nintendo's got like Zelda and stuff, like that's pretty legendary.
Cool. Have you got anything going on right now that you want to let us know about? Anything on your channel? Any shows coming up?
Um, so I'm on the channel. I got that series where we talk about 0% movies on Rotten Tomatoes, Zero the Hero. I do that with my buddy Davy, who I think I interviewed last time actually. But him and I do that. The one we're working on right now is for Beethoven's Third, which has been a really interesting time. But also I have the Queen series I've been doing. Um, we just looked at Sheer Heart Attack and Night at the Opera on the last episode. Um, and then also I do have a SoundCloud where I do put on some of my music. There's a few songs from like 10 years ago when I was just a much more naive Ryan that didn't know how to produce music, but there's still pretty cool songs to check out. And then I do put on new stuff as well. And so I would recommend checking that out. It's just Ryan Gavalier, my name. You could find me on there, but there will be tons more music coming up eventually. And it will be taking an interesting turn too, because I have a synthesizer on the way, so things are gonna get fun.
Nice. Do you have a do you have a theremin?
A theremin?
Yeah.
No.
No, you need to get one.
Definitely. I want to get everything at one point. I'm making my own mini studio
Cool. That sounds awesome.
for sure.
All right, Ryan. Well, for all the folks at home, hopefully you got to know Ryan a little bit better, and you'll see him around on our channel. And Ryan's got his own channel, Ryan's Vinyl Destination. Easy for me to say. And Ryan pops up on a lot of other folks' channels. And Ryan has been a great participant in our chats. Always has something intelligent to say, and knows a lot about music from a musician standpoint himself. And you know, a lot of us, we're creating free content for people. So if you can, go over to Ryan's Vinyl Destination, give them a like and subscribe, and stick around for more content. There's always great stuff coming up. So thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you all next time.